this computer. Okay, we are now recording. And I've got everything set. I think just have to check my Moodle NTI group. Perfect. And I'm going to get this set for students so I don't have to waste your guys' time waiting for me to do that. We want to be as a student. Perfect. And I'll go right on home. Okay. All right. So we're recording. We got the chat. Nobody's waiting to get in. Nothing's going on in the chat room. Okay. All right. So for today, a lot more updates coming in. The grading situation at the school has kind of gone crazy. So I've devised a plan for our class, and I'm pretty well gonna stick with this to meet everybody's needs. So what is that gonna look like? So for those of you that have been keeping up with the chapters and doing all the work that I've asked you to do, you're in luck. Pretty much for the next, until the end of school, which is April, May 21st, I think is your guys' last day. We have 6 more days roughly of chapters in the novel, and the novel's done. We're going to keep going with that, the live class sessions every day. If you're behind, I'm putting new features in Moodle to help students catch up. I'm also creating a couple of new areas in Moodle to show what I'm grading for the entire time. Wait a minute, hold on, we got an issue here. Give me just a second here, guys. I have to message the waiting room. To everyone in waiting room who, give my computer just a second. Who is this? Question mark. Okay, so I do have someone waiting in the guest room. I can't identify them, so I need to get verification that it's one of our students. Where was I? So there's a few things I'm gonna talk about in Moodle. Basically for the entire class, until the end of the semester, you're gonna have a few things that you have to do. You've already done the Ransom of Red Chief quiz, the Jackson County quiz. I think we were still in class when we did those, but they're part of the NTI work. Those are gonna be part of your grade. The weekly participation is going to be part of your grade. Let me see what else. I will probably have a short quiz at the end of the novel. I'm thinking 20 questions. That quiz is going to be twofold. I'm currently in the process. Well, I guess they didn't want to be in. They're gone. Nope. Oh, they're Robert. Okay. Admit. Okay. They're in now. Those quizzes are going to be kind of difficult to make because they're going to meet all accommodations. They're going to work offline. They're going to work, if you don't have an internet connection, they're just going to work across the board. In fact, everything in the course is going to work that way. So I'm working on that right now, and I'll explain a little bit more about that. So I'll get in. I'm going to screen share and talk about Moodle and some of the changes. This really is not going to apply to pretty much everyone in this room, but maybe it'll help those that are watching the recordings. So it'll be out there for them as well. So bear with me. We're gonna spend a little bit of time. Let me check the regular chat room. There's still a guest, and I don't know who that is trying to get in. If you guys are aware of anyone trying to get in with an iPhone, if they texted you, just let me know in the chat because I can't see who they are and I'm not going to let them in until I know who they are. So I'll send another message to them. iPhone guest, who are you? Try that again. All right, we're going to get going. I don't know. I don't even know how they could get the link without coming into the course, to be quite honest. So hopefully they will respond quickly. Oh, well, I guess some people get left behind. I'll check on them in a minute. All right, so I'm going to share my screen with you guys real quick. All right, this is going to be the student view of Moodle. And we should be sharing now. Okay, so once you log in, this is the dashboard. We got the weekly post. I'm probably going to put a video up to help students navigate the course, just so that there's no one left behind and everyone understands. When you go into the course, this is what I'm working on right now. I have changed the icons and the links for those things that we're going to be using throughout the course. I'm no longer doing iReady. I don't have the time to put certain kids in iReady that didn't get the novel or couldn't catch up with the novel. So there's no more iReady. There's no more, oh gosh, what was it? I mean, iReady and ReadWorks. Those two are gone. We have the weekly post. That link is updated to take you to this week's current discussion board post. It's 20% of your grade. Make sure you check in once a week. That's it. You don't have to do it every day. It is just a, hey, I'm alive post. When I see them, I'll grade them, but I'm probably not going to have time to respond, because if everyone responded, it would be 130. Plus, it just gets to be too much to respond to. I'd rather respond to the meat of the novel and things. Then you've got the Zoom icon. That will take you to the live class sessions every day. If you come in at 1:15 or 10:15 in the morning, it's going to say, it'll put you in the waiting room and say, the meeting has not started yet. Well, it's because we're scheduling these at 1:30. When we get to pass the novel, well, we might have 2 times a day, but that link will always be the one that'll work for you. We've got the Tangerine regular book. That's just the PDF. You remember that? That's if you don't have a copy of the novel, you can pull this up and read it. So the new thing that I'm working on is I have a lot of students who have trouble reading, who like the audio, who want audio, and the YouTube audio is kind of difficult to listen to and follow along with the text unless you have a novel, which some kids do. There's a lot of problems with it. So what I'm in the process of doing today, and I hope to finish maybe by midnight tonight if I'm lucky, is I've created an activity called a book. And in this Moodle module, in this activity, I can put in the chapter audio along with the text. So if you look at the table of contents, I've got the preface so far, chapters 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And that's what I'm doing right now. I'm working on pulling the audio, pulling the text, putting it in here for every single chapter of the book. So I'm not sure if you're going to be able to hear this, but if you hit play, it will start playing the some volume here. We want to select a microphone. We want video, FaceTime, camera, video settings. Just for the heck of it, tell me if you can hear the audio. But anyways, it is playing. And as that plays, the whole chapter is right there. You just scroll down, reading along with it, and everything is good. And once you're finished, you can jump into the next chapter. So I'm in chapter, preface right now. I can jump over to chapter 2. Maybe you read some and you're like, I'm tired of reading. I just want to read one chapter. You can jump to any chapter, and that specific chapter's audio is there. It's already timed. It's in sync, and the text is right there to read as well. So this will be available. Let me go back to the main class. We're going to stop the screen sharing here in just a second. So that's the icon. That's where it's located. I can jump links in wherever. And then you've got your regular NTI work. So if I go to today, you just got the live class link right there. And then you've got the week 5 check-in repeated link, which many of you have already done. And you got the audiobook. That's a link to YouTube. That's the old way I was doing it, but people were having trouble. Now, if you know anyone that does not have an internet connection, the new way I'm doing this is going to allow me to download that book activity that I just showed you to a Galaxy, so you can get the audio and the text offline and the quizzes offline. And I'm going to put audio in with the quizzes so that if students need the questions read or the answers read, it'll be right embedded with the quiz. And if they don't have internet at home, I can put all this onto a Galaxy in offline mode, deliver it to them. They can do all their work online without an internet connection. And then they send the Galaxy back when it syncs to my truck or when it syncs to my house or the school, it will automatically upload all of their work and grade it. So that's what changes I'm making. And it's going to take me till about Friday to get all of this done. So I'm going to be like swamped for the next couple of days. Let's stop the share. And it looks like I got some questions in chat and some people trying to get in. Let's let Austin in. Let's see who else we got here. All right, that's everyone in the room waiting. And you can hear it a little. Okay, that's good. I just want to show you that the audio will work. So those are the changes. What am I expecting students to do? Point blank, it doesn't matter. And I've had new students that have just came into our class that you probably know, but were not in the class with us when we were in session. They haven't read the book at all. And I'm like, okay, I can't create a whole new curriculum for every kid that comes in new or needs something different. It's just too much work in this environment. It can't be done. So what I can do is I can adjust due dates, I can adjust expectations, and I can make accommodations and things like that available through Moodle. So what is due for me by the end of the year or the semester is students, all students, regardless if they have an IEP or if they just moved here yesterday, they have to read the book Tangerine in its entirety. There are more than 6 weeks left, 7 weeks left, something like that. I don't know the exact count, till the end of the year. This is a 4-week novel unit. There's plenty of time. If students have never read one word of the novel, there's still enough time to do all of that work and get it in. I will not hold them accountable for late work because I'm going to use my check-ins as the grades for progress reports. There you go. So no one has to worry about getting assignments handed in because there's only going to be like the ransom of bread chief that we did early on. That's all formatted with audio and everything so people can get it. And then you're going to have like I think one quiz in Tangerine, which I've already got the grades for, so that one's like almost done unless you're new. There'll be another quiz, and then there's this discussion board. So there's not much that's going to really be in the grade book content-wise. And if you're doing all your work, you're asking, well, what are we going to do when we finish the novel? Well, you guys are in luck. We're going to have fun. We're going to do strictly enrichment. So once we get through the novel, we're basically done. I am going to count the live participation for extra credit, though. And probably if you're caught up, because I don't want students saying, oh, okay, I'm done, Mr. P, and not coming back till next year. That's not going to fly either. But if you have finished everything, I'm going to do live enrichment sessions every day. I may do some discussion board posts for fun so you guys can talk about things. Those things will include things with the hydroponics. Heck, it might even include doing, I don't know, how to do construction stuff, the cast net throwing, anything that I can think of that's fun. It may include guest speakers if I can get my hands on someone that can Zoom with us and talk about something interesting. It may include Mrs. Parmentier joining us for a day. So it's going to be real light, real fun. Really, hopefully it's going to be really engaging for the students that have finished all of their work and are keeping up to date with the class. So that is the plan. That'll allow everyone that needs to get caught up to get caught up. It'll accommodate everyone's IEPs, any special needs that they have, anything in the world that they need will be accommodated, even not having an internet connection, because I plan to just start dropping off galaxies to those students' houses this Friday. If the school won't do it, I'll get them to them. Because I can just put it in the mailbox. I don't even need to, have contact. And they can do all their work offline. So that's an update on what's happening. They're telling us to get grades in by next Wednesday, I guess. We have to have grades in because I think they want to push some progress reports out to scare those that haven't been doing anything into doing stuff. So that is kind of an update on where we're at. Are there any questions on the class, Moodle? I only have one more thing to show you, Moodle, and then we'll get to the novel. I'm looking at the waiting room and the chat. I'm not seeing anything. So, okay, good. Let's jump over to the, I'm going to share my screen one more time with you because I forgot to show you something else I'm trying to put together to make it easy. If you scroll down, you should see if you're in the main course, not in a module, but you go to the English and RTI group, when you scroll down, there's a new module. It's called All Graded Activities Under Construction. That means I'm in the process of building this, so it's not done yet. When you click in that module, I'm going to link in, out of all the other modules, everything that's going to go into gradebook. So you can see the quiz for the Jackson County History module, NTI Day 4, is going to go into gradebook. Quiz Random of Red Chief, NTI Day number 5, is going into gradebook. I will link in the Tangerine test, the Tangerine quiz that we're going to do at the end of the chapter, or the end of the book when we're done, a couple of the discussions. So if you want to quick at a glance look at everything that's going to be graded from the time we started in December or whatever, January, until the last day of school, it's going to be in that dump box. The content's not going to be there. That's just those activities and quizzes and discussions that are going to be graded. And I guess that counts for the weekly check-ins. The weekly check-ins really need to be done the week of. It doesn't do me any good if you do week 2 in week 6, because I can't count you if you haven't contacted me, and there are other ways to contact me for my my weekly participation. So everything that you're going to be graded on will be dumped in there. And I guarantee you, if you're logged in right now watching the live session, you probably have everything done and you're good to go. So that's all that is new, I believe, in Moodle. The quizzes are difficult to create because I have to create them in such a way that they're going to work in offline mode. So they're going to be more simple. They're going to be easier. They'll be able to be downloaded, and they will have audio provided it doesn't interrupt the offline mode. So I'm going to stop the sharing, go back to regular video, check and see if there are any questions. All right, I'm not seeing any questions. Okay. All right, and no one's in the waiting room. Yay. All right, that brings us to Tangerine for today. Whoa, big chapter. I warned you guys. It is the chapter Friday, December 1st. It's a big one. In a nutshell, Paul tells his parents that he's sick and he stays away from school. He's miserable and confused. It's the night of the senior awards ceremony at Eric's school. There's also going to be a memorial ceremony for Mike Costello. Remember, he got struck by lightning. Paul goes along glumly. Soon after the awards ceremony begins, Paul sees Victor and Tino coming into the auditorium. He doesn't understand what they're doing there. He's terrified as he watches them move toward the stage. He realizes that they're basically there to avenge Lewis. They're waiting for Eric to go up on stage, and nobody else seems to notice them. As Eric steps on the stage, Tino walks up to him and kicks him in the gut. Then he hits him in the face and says that it's for his brother Lewis. Victor jumps on Arthur and starts beating him up. The auditorium erupts in chaos. Coach Warner jumps on Tino while Victor runs off to the back exit. The alarm goes off as he goes through the fire doors. As Coach Warner tackles Tino, Paul runs down and leaps on Coach Warner's back. Tino gets away also. Paul's dad and Coach Warner are outraged. They grab Paul and demand to know who the boys were, but Paul is stricken by a whole new feeling. He has no fear at all. He refuses to give Tino and Victor's names, and then he breaks away from his dad and runs away. He goes back to Lake Windsor Downs and stands at the back wall outside the development. The spray paint has been painted over. So they fixed the graffiti from a couple of chapters ago. As Paul is standing, reeling in the dark, just thinking about what just happened in the dark, Arthur and Eric drive up in the Land Cruiser as they approach him. Paul still feels no fear. He tells them to try to hurt him. But as they face him in the dark, their eyes and faces swollen, he realizes there's nothing to fear about them at all. They are actually totally weak. Their threats are empty. He tells them that he saw them kill Lewis. He says there were other witnesses as well. As he says this, Arthur panics. He tells Eric they should get out of there. Eric flies into a rage and shouts to Arthur to shut up, but instead of calling him Arthur, he calls him Castor. The name startles Paul. Eric and Arthur jump in the Land Cruiser and speeds away. Paul is left in the dark with a strange feeling coming over him. We're going back to that, he's got this stream of consciousness thing that keeps happening in the chapter, and he's basically going into a flashback. The name Castor brings back a sudden flood of memories. Here it is, the memory he's been trying to recall all his life, and for about, I don't know, the last 15 chapters, 10, 15 chapters of the book. Lost my space here. It happened back in Houston in a different housing development where Eric used to have a sidekick named Castor, kind of like Arthur, just follows along with whatever he does or whatever Eric wants him to do. Castor did Eric's bidding, just as Arthur does now. When Eric was in 5th grade, he and Castor spray painted the walls of the development. They got caught. They thought that Paul had told on him. Now the horrible memory came flooding back to Paul. They took him into the garage, held his head, pried his eyes open, and sprayed paint in his eyes. Paul's mom found him and raced him to the hospital. She thought he was going to be blind, but they managed to save some of his vision. With this horrible memory flooding back, Paul goes inside to his parents who've just arrived back from the school. They're about to get angry with him for jumping on the coach, but he cuts them off. He demands they tell him their version of what happened to him. They explained to him that they wanted him to think it was an accident because they didn't want him to hate Eric. He asked them if they wanted him to hate himself. Instead, his parents start crying. They beg for his forgiveness. He leaves them and goes to answer the phone. And that pretty much concludes the long chapter of December 1st. And we're going to have a couple of short chapters coming up after this. So a lot going on in that chapter. I mean, a ton. That is probably one of the most significant chapters in the book. So what do you think? Type in comments. Did you like it? Did you not like it? Was it scary? Was it not what you thought was going to happen? I can respond to some of your comments. I thought that was a pretty good chapter. That's why I was building it up the last couple of days. And you guys got off the hook with a very short chapter yesterday, but I think that this chapter was short in nature because it was a very quick read. It went by really fast. I couldn't wait to, find out what was happening next. So, all right, not seeing anything in the chat, nothing yet. So I'll be patient. And let's see, what else do we got? Got about 8 minutes before the next meeting. So I'll continue on with a couple other things from the class. Again, feel free to post in the chat. I'm really curious to know, what did you guys think about that chapter? Hello, that's the big bang of the book right there. And it's still going to be interesting, but that was a really revealing chapter. I posted in Remind today, for those of you joining the live class sessions, I don't know how much extra credit point that I'm going to get, how much extra credit points I'm going to give, but I'm going to start giving extra credit for those of you that join the live session. I would really like to see our numbers jump up. I have 120 students. Okay, maybe 20 of them don't have internet. I would like to see us push the limits of the system. I would like to see 80 students at some point before the end of the year in one of these live sessions, okay? And to accomplish that, I'm going to start trying to put some things into place. It will be daily extra credit points for joining the live session. So if you, that could be very handy. Let's say you get a 9 out of 10 on one of the smaller quizzes and you joined all the live sessions, the extra credit from the live sessions is going to by far offset that grade. If you missed a couple of weekly check-ins, those extra credit points are going to by far outweigh those things. It would be very easy to get 100+% in this class. I'm thinking, since I do these live sessions every single day, and I don't want crazy amounts of points for assessments, I'm thinking of giving 1 to 2 points per day, which would be 5 to 10 points per week. And if you think about it, a lot of my quizzes in their entirety are only between 10 and 20 points. So if you are online and you are on the live session, you could get an entire quiz grade offset. I've said it all along. It's more important to me that you guys are meeting in a virtual space. You're connecting online, either in discussions or in the live sessions. So I'm going to weight those accordingly. Are there any questions? Usually there's some. I feel like my chat's not even working. Let me go to everyone. Give me just a second. I need to, oh, everyone in meeting. Okay. Let me see. Is this working? ... The chat. Question mark. All right. Oh, it is. Okay. You guys beat me to it responding. So, okay. I still have to put the recording up from yesterday. I'll be putting the extra credit points and things together. There may be some other incentives. I mentioned a few things. I'm just swamped trying to get caught up with everything. So if you are wondering what is involved with doing the audio, I have this computer right here, and that's Adobe Audition. And that's what I'm doing is I'm pulling down the audio we listen to in class from YouTube. So I'm ripping it from YouTube. Then I put those audio clips into Audition, and I have to manually go through, and this is like the wavelengths here of the actual voices. So I have to go in and I stretch them way out so I can see the silent parts, and then I'll identify where the chapter markers are, and I have to put a chapter marker in there. And then I grab each chapter from here and create a new file, and then that file goes into Moodle. And then I go and, oh, hold on, I open up the PDF right here of the entire book, and then I find this specific chapter, I highlight it, I export that text to HTML, and then I take the HTML along with the audio file, and I put that into the book activity or the book resource in Moodle, and that's what creates that so that you can listen and read at the same time. There are some second language websites out there that do the same thing, but it's very time consuming, very technical to do. I hope to have it done. I hope to have everything done by Friday. So that is the goal. And then the class is set. I don't have to touch it. All we have to do is actually interact and work with it. And that's going to be really good. So again, if you know anyone that you are friends with that don't have internet, and they're like, oh, I can't do my teacher's work, get a message to me through Moodle or email. I'm creating a list, and I'll get galaxies to those students, and they'll be able to do everything here online, and it's way easier because if you get my paperwork from the school, I'm requiring students to write, yes, a chapter summary for every single chapter. It's the only way I could figure out how they could do it without an internet with the time that they gave us. That's a lot of chapter summaries. That's like 24 chapter summaries. So you're talking 24 half pages of writing. Enormous amount of work. So there you have it. If you have questions, I'll give you guys about 1 minute to post in the discussion. I need to launch my next meeting, and I'll answer any questions if you have them. So go ahead and type them, any questions you have at all, into the chat, and I will answer them before we call it a day. Nothing yet. Okay, I'm on mute. No. So, all right. Well, if there are no questions and everyone is content, I don't see anything coming through chat. That's a good thing. I think you guys are in good shape, and I'll even send you guys a reaction. That means that you guys have thumbs up. You're doing great. So with no questions, my next meeting's starting, and we'll go ahead and meet tomorrow at 1:30, and hopefully I'll be further along with getting all this stuff caught up. And we'll be doing, if it's a short chapter, we'll do something fun. Remember, probably sometime late next week, the enrichment videos will start. Have a good day, guys.